welcome into this final episode of AAPI VTuber Talks. This is episode 4. Hang on, checking the title. The Asian and Proud, the Queer AAPI Identity Online. We've assembled 4 more VTubers here today to talk about this topic as we bridge into Pride Month and we end off National AAPI Month, which is May. It is currently May 30th, so we are right on the cusp of that. We will do introductions, but before we start, I'm your host, AtramentumX. My pronouns are he, him. I am a cis male ally, and I am your host of this and many other content, including the Depths podcast, which is a Vtuber podcast. But enough about me. Let's hear from our lovely guests. Also, in terms of what kind of Asian I am the South Asian, from the diaspora. My family is from the Caribbean, and so on and so forth, but I identify as Asian American. We shall have introductions going from my immediate next to me. For our introductions, please let us know who you are, your pronouns, and what kind of Asian you are. Go ahead, Ice.
No, wait, why am I first? Okay.
Proximity.
Okay, I immediately forgot what I needed to list, but okay, let me. So hi, I'm Ice Boy. I go by he, him pronouns. I am a boyfriend ASMR artist and an ASMR VTuber. I am Filipino. And what else do I need to?
I think that covered it, but what else would you like to know about you?
And like what type of queer you are?
Oh right, I'm I'm bisexual. I am a bisexual. Yeah, there we go.
Singular bisexual.
I am a singular bisexual man. I guess so. Yeah. I am he and he is him. All right.
Point of contention? No.
Thank you very much for joining us, Ice Boy. Ice Boy is a very talented boyfriend ASMRist and streams here on Twitch as well. Next up, we've got Squeak Queen.
Hello, everyone. My name is Squeak Queen. My pronouns are they, them. I am half African American and half Filipino. If you couldn't tell from the giant crown that's floating behind me. I am a Palace Shadow VTuber. If you don't know what that is, it's from Persona 5. That's where my lore is mostly based off of. And my type of queer, I guess, is I'm non-binary and I'm also pansexual.
Thank you very much, Squee. Squee rejoins the podcast from a previous episode. I believe it was the Lewd, Melanated, and Proud one.
Oh yeah, that was a really awesome episode.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us, Squee.
Thank you for having me.
Next up, we've got Manta Ray.
Lee, my name is Manta Ray VT. I am a variety VTuber. I am bisexual and gender fluid. I am also... No, that's it. No, that's literally everything.
And where are you from?
Oh yeah, that's right. I am Japanese and Palawan, so I check the Asian American and Pacific Islander box.
Thank you very much. Manta is also doing a series on Asian Americans, so please make sure you give them a follow. And they will be wrapping up their series tomorrow.
Thank you.
And last but not least, it appears a Canadian is stuck into the studio.
Hi, hello. I'm Ephraim, the Gorgon. I am a pansexual, polyamorous queer. Nice to meet y'all.
And where are you from, Effie?
You literally just gave it away, bro. I am a Hong Kong Canadian. Hello. I am infiltrating the Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month, but, you know, my story is relevant too.
I have to apologize, chat. We have to have at least one Canadian on. We know it's Asian American Month, but, you know how it is with representation. You gotta just let even the Canadians in sometimes. As a little bit of an icebreaker, sorry, Ice Boy.
Ouch.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Before we sort of delve into the topic, food is something that is very near and dear to Asian Americans. It contains for us multitudes about family and heritage and culture. So before we get started, why don't we ask the panelists to share one food from their childhood or present adulthood that really sort of embodies that Asian American spirit and like one of their favorite things that gives them those good memories of being what they are. This podcast, anyone is free to speak at any turn they'd like, so I will let them jump in as they see fit.
I love dim sum. What do you guys think?
I was literally going to say.
I
I'm a
mean,
fan.
like,
I'm a
dim sum
fan.
is so like, good for everyone, and everyone, like, there's so many ways that you can eat, and it's so inviting and good for like all types of palates and dietary situations, except there's a lot of shrimp and stuff. So if
Yeah, I
you're
was gonna
allergic, I'm so
say.
sorry.
Yeah,
I'm so
no,
sorry.
you like
Yeah.
seafood. You can have bad
I'm so
time.
sorry if you don't.
Yeah, I felt like dim sum is the way to really bond with. It didn't matter like any type of celebration that you were having or just to hang out. I felt like it was just the best way to really like get to know people and just hang out. It was something I really really enjoyed as a kid and I still enjoy as an adult now.
Wait,
Absolutely.
like when you like Asian, does it have to be like Asian American? Like what embodies Asian American?
Well, no,
like,
it's just
food,
whatever
or-
you personally like.
Oh,
Whether
I like
it is
rice.
like, is you like rice? Okay.
I mean, okay. When I
You're
think
very
of
valid for that.
honestly,
I mean,
honestly,
yeah.
when I think of like Asian, like families,
Yeah.
or bonding with your family and all that, like nothing comes close to like eating rice with your family, with anything really. I don't know.
Mm.
It makes me feel at home whenever I just eat rice. It's so versatile, and every Asian country eats it. So
You're not
I
wrong.
mean, so
I
don't
feel
know.
you, because like, have you seen like or have you seen like that video of like the dude who brings tortillas to the hibachi grill?
Yes, I have
Yes,
seen
but-
that.
I would be
Oh
the
my
person
God.
bringing the bowl of rice to the cantina. You know what I mean? Like,
Yo.
Yes.
I'm like, yo, these fajitas are bomb. Let me put these on this bowl of rice right here. Yep. Now we're cooking.
Yeah, I think yeah. So like for me, like rice isn't just food for me. Rice is like a perfect representation of like families, like Asian families or Pacific Islander families too. Yeah.
Do you use a rice cooker or do you cook on the stove?
I use a rice cooker.
Rice
I-
cooker.
But if I want to, well, cook like fried rice maybe.
Like, yeah, that's fried rice though.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a completely different thing.
Right, you're not
Right,
making it for
right,
raw, I assume.
But you
Instead of
guys know
having it
what
extra
garlic
crunchy.
rice is?
Garlic
What?
rice? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Is that considered fried rice? Question mark. I don't know. Is that also different? I don't know.
I reckon
I
it
use
is,
that.
yeah.
I use also the stove for it. Yeah.
Yeah, I use the stove also. I don't have a rice cooker. Super.
I use both. I guess it just depends what I'm how much. Well, I guess it really depends how much I'm making, because I used to have a very tiny rice cooker, like a little 3-cup, for like just like meals and stuff. And then if I am like making like a whole pot of fried rice, or like a whole like like a wok size thing of fried rice, I'll just use like a little sauce pot and just do the whole bag of rice.
Big is your bag of rice, Manta?
I actually so instead of
hold on.
okay, I'm gonna at myself right now.
Oh, controversy
Wait,
already.
No, listen to me right now. I don't buy the big 25, 30, 50 pound bags of rice.
Uh-huh.
I like my rice in 1 to 2 pound bags, because 1 pound is exact.
bag?
But
Wait, what?
Hear me out. Hear me out.
no.
Just stay with me for a moment.
My heart.
Oh,
Yeah.
One pound of rice is about equal to 3 cups. So I don't have to measure it.
I'm so tired.
Sue me.
I cannot.
Am I
Yours
spending more in the
reminds
long
me
run? Maybe. Do I have to measure stuff? No.
but
Do I measure the water? No.
I mean, I don't think any of us actually measure the water.
Oh no.
So why is it bad that I don't measure the rice?
Well,
You know?
it's not the matter of measuring the rice, it's the not buying it in bulk.
I used to. Trust me. I was there. I grew up in those stores. I patted all of the bags down. I've done my part. I just grew up and chose a different path.
That's okay. As a chronically ill baddie, sometimes I have to use the microwave instant rice just because I'm in a rush or I can't make it when I'm really not feeling it, you know?
That's valid.
Yeah.
You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of Master of None. If you guys have seen that show on Netflix, they had a whole thing where the East Asian guy was there's oh yeah, your parents came to this country and they raised you and you're ungrateful, whatever it is. And the father's can you go to the store? Son, can you go to the store and pick me up a packet of rice? And I'm like, who wrote this? No Asian father said, bring me a packet of rice.
Hides in the corner.
You bring the dolly, and then you get the 25-pounder, and then you cart it all the way home uphill.
You get the bag with the wheels.
Oh no, I can carry those things on my shoulder. I'm good, but
Hello? Excuse me?
Sorry for segueing out of topic, but those Hong Kong market stores, I avoid the seafood section as much as possible. I do not like the smell of it. Whenever my mom low-key almost drags me towards that section, I'm I don't want to. I want to stay. I want to stay in the those little tiny chairs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I want to stay there. I want to stay there. Do not make me go to the seafood section, please, please.
It gets
there
really
was a-
fishy.
Fish.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah.
The store I was in was kind of like a supermarket type, but it's still when you walked in, there was no escaping it.
Mhm.
The city of New York literally had a machine for a little while. They went through Chinatown that kind of poured detergent onto the streets because of the fishy smell sometimes.
Oh my
Oh
god.
no.
It's called a flusher.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah,
Mm.
Flusher. And the
What
city,
an-
that Chinatown's called Flushing, so it's the Flusher that's flushing.
Oh my
Oh my god.
That's. Oh my god.
I don't know if they still do it, but there's nowadays there's fewer fish markets and more proper chain supermarkets in the area because
That's
the
fair.
area is sparkle gentrifying sparkle.
Yeah, okay, never mind.
I was gonna be bring back the stinky fish markets.
Yeah,
Exactly.
well, never mind.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, thank you guys so much for sharing your favorite foods and those memories. Manta, did you have one too, or was it
I guess if I had to speed run it, I was gonna say as a kid, even though my family is predominantly Palauan, we have a lot of other cultures that were married in,
Mhm.
And so I actually have a decent amount of Filipino family too, and so I actually grew up on a shit ton of lumpia, and I'm just so sad that I never learned how to make it before my family kind of dispersed. But nowadays I think my favorite food would have to be okonomiyaki because
yeah.
Nice.
I just can't. I haven't had anything else like it, and it's just that just hits for me.
That
No
is
matter
the
how-
third
well-
time someone has said lumpia for that an answer to that thing.
It's
Well-
so good.
Yeah, it's one of those dishes that's so simple. It's it fried meat veggie stick. I
I love how you say it's so simple, but you don't know how to make it.
I don't think I've ever heard somebody describe it that way.
you know what? I would describe it like that. Honestly,
Yeah, that was the best way to describe it.
I
I've
was
just
no,
never
because
heard it
I was
describe
shocked.
it that
I was
way.
shocked. I was that cannot be. You know what? No, you're right.
So yeah, no. So I've rolled and wrapped thousands of them, right? But I have no idea how to make the mix.
The
Oh,
mix.
the filling?
Yeah.
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 Mm.
No, I
Yeah, I'll
had
roll
to. I
those
had
things.
to. That was a Sunday tradition. Was we sit, we make a bunch of those for church. You bring them to church, and that's what we did. It was. I got up super early to make those with all of the aunties or the titas all the time. It was something we had to do. That's probably why I have arthritis now. I mean, I don't know.
Squee may be young, but Squee has the hands of a 60-year-old tita.
Word.
Facts. Facts.
All right, so we will be getting lumpia after the show because it is a sign.
Let's fucking go.
Yeah. So, chat, there are prepared questions, but if you have any questions for a panel whatsoever, feel free to indicate them in chat, and we will get to them when we get to them. But to start off, we're going to talk stereotypes. And the question that I have prepared is, whether it be in your regular life or in specific contexts like dating, have there ever been stereotypes you've been encountered about being Asian or LGBT? Are these somewhat diminished online?
I'm about to put my partner on blast so bad right now.
Do it.
Matcha, do it.
Oh,
So, guess who was my girlfriend's exotic treasure when we first got together?
no!
Oh my god.
Oh my god!
All right, here we go.
I'm
The
ready.
one I almost jumped out the window,
Oh my god.
like head first, pencil style. Like,
Okay, but what was exotic about you necessarily?
literally because she knew I was Palauan. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, that is fucking it. I mean, yeah, I got like some melanin and my hair is like long and wavy, but like, I'm not Jason Momoa. All right,
Are
like,
you not?
okay, so a little girl called me Maui at work, and I didn't know how to take that. But
Aw.
it's cute, but at the same time, I'm just like, that's adorable. Fuck it. Moving on.
I'm just gonna be controversial here. I think when racism's adorable, it's okay. No, that is a joke. That is a joke.
Somebody quote
Someone
Atra
clip
right
that.
now.
Someone clip
Quote
that, please.
Atra. Clip it, put it on Twitter. Put it on Twitter right now.
Text
This is the end of the
Yeah,
AAPI
context.
sucks.
That was wild.
No, but Mantis, in all seriousness.
Oh no, it was just one of those things where it's like I feel like being called exotic, especially when you're from the old world, it's like so overused, or like it's like you're gonna hear it eventually. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's like the Godwin's law of being Asian.
Were you in an area with a lot of Asians, or no at the time?
No, so my family kind of like hop skipped a lot because they moved to the Americas when my dad was a kid, and they ended up in the like San Francisco area, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
And then they moved inward to Phoenix. I don't know what the hell made them want to do that, but that's the area I was born and raised in. And while they did have a significant Asian community, it was pretty secular. Like that store I talked about going to, that was called Lily's.
Mm-hmm.
And there was only one, and you had to go to the Asian Plaza. Like if you wanted anything Asian, there was the Asian Plaza, and it was the one in Chandler. It wasn't even in the same town you lived in.
Mm.
And
Yes,
that
I've
was
been to Ohio.
yeah, basically like we're like Ohio if Ohio was a desert, you know what I mean? And like if you wanted boba back in the day, that was the one boba shop in existence in
Oh my
like the greater
goodness.
Phoenix area, like you know what I mean?
That's
And,
wild.
Yeah, no, so but then like I met my girlfriend up here in the Pacific Northwest where there is a big Asian community.
Right.
And so I am not I said all that mostly to say that I'm not very typically used to being connected to local Asian communities, but I've always been in a place that's had a decent amount. And while she's also not from here, I just there's no way I can slice the pie where I was just like, that's okay. But I love her to death. I always will. And that is just one of those things I'm going to tease her about until we both die.
Oh no. Manta has given us a death flag. But thank you for sharing.
You know, till the bitter end, right? Isn't it something like that, or till something do us part? I forgot what it was. I'm
Till
not
death.
married.
Till
Yes.
death
Yeah,
do
yeah,
us
yeah.
part. You're correct. I'm married and polyamorous, so yeah, I can say that.
James,
I did
okay,
the
I'm not
vows.
married.
I did the vows.
I'm not married, but I'm polyamorous, but yeah, same deal. I didn't take it to the altar, but like I'm still dedicated like that.
yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, unfortunately, my Filipino family was like, "Yeah, you take it to the altar." I was like, "Yeah, right."
Like low key, we had a kid together, and we're just like, that's close enough, right?
Yeah,
That's
no, that's literally the same thing. You're right
Yeah.
there. It's okay.
basically did it.
Want
Yeah,
the piece
Mhm,
of paper, guys. They want the piece of paper.
you know,
Want
tax
the piece of
breaks,
paper.
Tax
Yep,
benefits.
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, the tax benefits, it's there.
hospital
You know.
visitations. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
laughs nervously in Canadian.
Yo. I'm just
That's
gonna
not
go cry in a
nervous.
corner.
That's like villainous.
I mean,
How about the rest of you guys? Any thoughts on the question, whether or not you've encountered stereotypes in any specific context, either for being Asian or LGBT?
I don't know. I was
Oh,
always
wait,
like a really loud. Sorry, Ice.
I'm sorry. You go first.
Okay, well, I was just gonna say that I've always been really loud and very vocal about who I am. And I feel like a lot of people, when they see a femme presenting Asian, they're just like, "Oh, aren't you supposed to be like kind of quiet and booky and not like this?"
She says, "Hold."
And I'm just like, "Shut up, shut up, shut up, you shut
Hit him
up."
with a book.
You
Hit him with a book.
I hit you with a book, damn it. But yeah, like
Don't throw the book at me.
I will throw the damn book at you and you'll like it. But yeah, like you always get the whole stereotype that Asian presenting femmes or like guys or just like Asian, like I'm Chinese, so I'm gonna talk about like the Chinese guys
Sure.
and girls, and like we're
Sure.
always generally perceived as like quiet and not very aggressive, and then they meet me and it's like, yeah, hi, hello, I will tell you what's what and you're gonna like it.
Oh my gosh. Honestly, like unlike Nefarious here, I fit the stereotype to a T. Like I'm
Aw.
literally the nerdiest Asian boy ever growing up. Like
Aw.
and like I keep up with my studies and all that and like blah 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 blah. And although I do want to state something that funny happened. But during one of my college classes, I was with my project partners, and one of my project partners has a kid. They were waiting outside for the classroom, but after the lecture was over, we decided to have lunch at a taco stand. And we were waiting in line, and the sun was beaming down on my skin, right? So it was like very much daytime. And one of my project partners that had a kid, he literally was like, "Oh, Dad, that guy is yellow."
Oh, no.
Because it was the sun. Because the sun was beaming down on me, right? The sun was
Uh-huh.
beaming down on me. I was very much glowing. Like for sure. I very much had like very much like glowing yellow skin at the time. And in the distraught of the dad's face, my friend, he was like, "Son, do not ever talk to someone like that ever again." And he was like, "I'm so sorry, Ice. I'm so sorry. He did not mean it." I'm like, "I know. He's like only 4 years old. I get it."
I would have eaten for days off of
It was
that.
so funny to
Wow.
me. It was so funny. It was the funniest thing.
I'm referencing my comment from earlier that racism is funny when it comes from children.
Yes, because they don't know any better.
They don't know any better.
I know. It was so shocking. I was like, "Oh my gosh, I guess I am like pretty yellow." Like I
That's-
really
It's the
am.
opportunity to turn to the kid and be like,
Wild.
"I'm not yellow. I'm golden."
I'm golden.
I'm golden. Oh yes.
Cold line.
But like, I don't know. Like, I'm all for diverging stereotypes, and I encourage other Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders to diverge from that stereotype. Not everyone is this. Not every Asian, not every Pacific Islander is the same. Having said that, I fit the stereotype to a T. I mean, I'm a computer science major. I love math. I like Pokemon. I love anime. I like K-pop. Like this. I really wish that I was, I had some traits that are like not the stereotype, but unfortunately, I fit it to the T.
Live your best life, bitch.
Yeah, live your
I was
best
gonna
life, and
say-
you never know what's
Yeah.
gonna manifest later on in your life.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So
I would
true.
actually
Like it,
argue. I would argue that stuff no longer makes us stereotypes because so many people who aren't Asian try to be Asian so hard by like making those hobbies and things their personality and be
Mhm.
trying to become a stereotype in a way. And so I don't know. I feel like that kind of like I feel like they almost invalidate it in that sense. It's
Looking
like
at
just
you,
because.
Koreaboos.
Yeah.
No, honestly, like the Weeaboos took over the 2000s, but the Koreaboos came in the 2010s and
So
said, "Hold."
fast.
Yeah, they said, "Hold my fucking ramen, fuck." Like,
You
Hold my soju, man. Hold my soju.
sold you.
I guess
yeah, no.
like
Yeah. Go ahead. Go
when it comes
Sorry.
to sorry.
ahead.
I guess segueing onto not only Asian stereotypes but queer stereotypes,
Right.
specifically for bisexuals. For me, I also fit it to a T. I cannot decide for shit. I swear to God, I am so indecisive, and apparently that's a stereotype. But like, I fit that. Like, I Also when it comes to like, um, when it comes to like preferences, also, like I don't actually have a preference when it comes to being bisexual. Like I said, like I'm indecisive. So yeah, like that's also a stereotype that I also fit apparently.
I feel that.
Yeah,
That's a
you like-
mood,
you like
bestie.
people.
That's a mood.
Yeah.
If
I'm,
like everybody's hot, I'm fucked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So
Yeah, I'm gender fluid, bisexual, and polyamorous. Don't make me decide.
It's true. We cannot make a decision.
yeah.
Also, being bisexual means I love dick and I'm afraid of women.
Facts.
Sounds about right, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I just got that. Okay.
Come on. Oh my goodness.
Just curious, have any of you used dating apps before?
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it.
What do you mean before?
Or currently, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, just yes. That's just gonna be my answer.
Yes.
For anybody considering using dating apps, Tinder sucks, Hinge
Yep.
sucks, Bumble
Yep.
sucks.
Yep.
Field is decent for poly people.
Mhm.
FetLife is basically being used as a regular social media website these days. It's barely a
so
freaking
funny.
like sexual
It's true
connection
though.
thing
It's
anymore.
so true.
Which, you know, I don't blame people for just like being their authentic selves on that site because that's kind of what it's about. But it's like at the same
But
time,
that's-
it's like it's just, you know, put your breakfast on Facebook or something. I don't know, like,
Yeah, agreed. Thank you.
or at least milk your cereal a different way. I don't know, man. Like,
Bacon,
freaking.
legs, hashtag fandom, hashtag pegging.
Yeah, no, for real, for real. Drives me
That's my 2
crazy.
cents on dating apps.
But have you encountered like any sort of people making assumptions about you on these apps, for example?
Oh God.
I think my favorite.
I think it's
Wait,
hard
I'm sorry,
to
what
say
was the
for me because
question again?
honestly, like, I'm gonna out myself right now. Like, my activity is low,
Uh-huh.
and I'm not saying I do credit it to this, but it has popped in my mind before that, like, statistically across the board, Asian males are the quote unquote least desired across demographics, and you know, like I said, I don't really like think of it. I don't just like, you know, put all my eggs in that basket with that one. But hearing that line, I'm just like, I would be lying if I didn't think, oh, that makes sense a little bit. And I blame media.
No, that's fair.
Even with the rise of hot K-pop boy bands, though. Cause
Yeah, but that's the thing is I'm 6'5", and again, someone said I look like Maui, so not exactly that,
Yeah.
not that flavor personally.
Mhm.
And okay, I guess like sorry. Atrick, what was the question again?
So it was sort of segmenting onto using dating apps and sort of the online space, and whether or not you're encountering any sort of stereotypes from when using these apps, or assumptions that people have about you, being an Asian male or a bisexual
Okay.
male. Yeah.
It's kind of strange. Like, I'm bisexual, right? So I'm kind of in like the straight dating sphere as well as the queer dating sphere.
Mhm.
When in like before, I would say maybe like before 2020 or so, Asian men in the straight dating sphere, I would agree they are quite the least desired. However, if you're an
Ooh.
Asian man in the queer queer dating scene, you are the most desired actually.
Really?
like for like queer Asian men are like easily taken advantage of, and it's actually quite dangerous. And I would always like be vocal about it. Like, it's so dangerous for like, for example, can I say one dating app here? Like, can I say like Grinder?
Yes,
Like,
you may. Yeah.
If you weren't, I was going to.
like that app is so dangerous and predatory towards Asian males because like I've seen plenty of experiences as well, like only also on Twitter, that they're being fetishized,
Mm.
and Asian fetishization is unfortunately normal, which shouldn't be, but it really needs to be talked about. Like these assumptions are mostly through fetishization, and when it comes to like dating, and even now, the shift from like being the least desired to now the most like hot topic, right? Like it's everyone wants an Asian man, wants to date an Asian man because of the media and how they portray us.
What do you think
It feels
these guys are picking up on? Like, what do they think they're getting in an Asian man?
like
Two
for
words. Eugene Lee.
right, like for I would from what I've seen, it you're seen differently when you're when you're a I would say when you're a straight or in a hetero
Context, yeah.
dating in their context, and seen differently also in the gay dating scene.
Mm.
Like you because people, as an Asian guy, people fetishize you for different ways. Unfortunately, uh, like I don't know how to put it into words, but like
Do they perhaps think you're more submissive or?
yeah, like especially yeah, for the gay dating scene, like the reason why we're usually there's a lot of people that like are there's a lot of Asian guys are taken advantage of in the gay dating scene is because we're seen as usually submissive and
Mhm.
easy to manipulate, and like that's why I would say it's it's so dangerous. But yeah, like I don't know. I just kind of wanted to point out that like some assumptions are based off of fetishization. I would just like to say that. That's really it.
I think that's a great point,
Definitely.
actually. I think if you were to like look at some Asian American online spaces, such as Reddit, for example, there is this sort of like discourse where it's like, well, now that specifically East Asian media is popular and some Asian men are being fetishized, that it's not a big deal necessarily, and it's this sort of back and forth, like, is that a good thing, is that a bad thing, like, because we've known for decades now that fetishization of Asian women is a very bad thing, and
Yes.
to sort of dismiss it for men kind of misses the point, because it's not like a matter of reparations, like, oh, we're hot now, or like they're hot now, whatever it is.
Right.
Because it
Like we
brings
should
its
be
own
happy that we're
assumptions.
being fetishized now or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Like okay, it is so weird to me, like how the perception of Asian men just suddenly changed when COVID happened. Like I would say, like before 2020, before anything was popular in the Asian media, we were the least desired, and all of a sudden, right? Like BL Asian dramas got popular, K dramas got popular, anime got popular. Like it's now everything is mainstream. Like we are now the most desired, but then is it for the right reason? Like you know what I mean?
Of course.
Like
of course.
Exactly.
it 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 I feel as an Asian guy, as an Asian cis male, I just feel I don't know what to do with this. I don't know what to do with this like identity aspect of my identity. It's but I know that Asian women have been dealing with this for many years now because Asian women have been fetishized for like way longer.
Oh,
and
yes.
like I get to now kind of feel the way that Asian women feel now, in terms of like being fetishized and all that. And honestly, I have a lot of Asian friends, Asian guy friends, and they think the same way too. Like it feels weird, and I'm now like sympathizing over or empathizing like I don't know the correct word, empathizing or sympathizing, but I now feel for Asian women when
Mm.
they mention that they do not like it being fetishized. I know what that feels like now, and
Empathy.
I don't know. Like I feel, I don't know. I feel weird about it.
Well, when you think about it, it's
For lack of a
because
better
of
word.
the internet. Like, one
Right.
can argue that yes, popular media played a very strong role in fetishizing Asian women, but so did pornography, and so did a lot of pornography
Yeah.
from overseas as well. And we're finding that it's not necessarily pornography that's like causing men to be fetishized now, but it is other media like manhwas, like BL, like things that
Oh
are
my
foreign,
God.
like they're not relevant to Asian American men, but it is coloring like the perceptions of them and implying that they might be desirable out of something that is purely online and fantastical.
Personally, the way I see it is that right now, Asian men are definitely being fetishized in the heterosexual lens. I think the gay Asian man stereotype, like Ice is describing, like the people that, you know, are fetishizers and chasers on Grindr, the type that they're looking for, I feel like that has definitely been prevalent within the gay community for much longer than just recently, personally, but that's just my viewpoint of it. Because that, I was gonna basically just corroborate what I said, like that, like everybody like wants that like Asian twink, you know what I mean? And
Yes.
that's what I was gonna ask you too, because it's like
Yes.
it's not really just all Asian guys, is it? It's only the small fit ones, the skinny little ones that like seem completely hairless and stuff like that, right? Like those are the ones everybody's chasing after and fetishizing. And I don't mean that to say that as like as a bad thing, but it's like they have like that's just like how like that's bottom line how you know like you can just call them chasers because they already have this weird little image, this weird little stereotype in their head that they're going for, and that's where they start treating people like objects more than people.
Yeah, like food to be
Right.
consumed. Like, let's have Indian tonight. Let's have Asian tonight.
Exactly.
Let's have Mexican.
That is
tonight.
crazy. I can just imagine. I'm just like imagining like going on Grinder. Like, I'm gonna have Indian tonight. That is
Like, it's
crazy.
fucking DoorDash.
I just
People think.
Hot.
that is crazy.
And they will
I
have
just
sex
imagine
with
that.
all people of all different types and be like, yeah, I'm cultured.
Oh my
Yo,
god.
what? Jeez.
No, it's wild. Grinder is a cesspool.
It is.
Squee and Effie, I would like to also maybe turn it over to you as well. If you have also felt that you've experienced sort of any sort of fetishization in the like the reason why I'm using dating app as an example is because it is a very online space, very online, like terminally online space. It is just not real life. It's not a representation of a bar or like anything of that sort. But yeah, I'm wondering if you've encountered something like that through your like sort of like time online.
I think one of my favorites is, I'm sure everyone here would understand it as well, as we're all not hetero, is when you put bi or pan on your profile, you'll always have someone coming in asking if you want to have a threesome with them and their partner.
Yep, there it is. I was.
And I'm just
literally-
like, wait, what now?
Unicorn hunters.
the unicorn
It's like-
hunters is the
I don't
thing.
just,
Mhm.
yeah, it's like we're not just gonna fuck you randomly just because we're bi or pan. We have to
Mhm.
like you first.
At least, like, hello.
It's like,
Yeah,
Imagine.
poly
Have a
does not mean
conversation with
slutty people.
I mean,
Thank
we're
you.
also kind of slutty.
I mean, I'm
but, you
also
know.
slutty.
I was gonna say, I was
Yeah,
like,
no.
we slutty, but like, we have standards.
Yeah,
Literally.
it's
Right,
just like,
right.
Poly doesn't mean easy.
Yeah.
Correlation does not mean causation.
yeah, I think that's my favorite story of dating apps, or like being, or people just coming up because it says Asian or whatever on my profile and be like, can you like cosplay when we fuck? And I'm like,
Oh,
no, no.
Oh
Let me
my
guess what
God.
websites you go to.
Oh my
What?
gosh.
Like just based on like that alone, it just tells me like you're just like addicted to like watching like, you know, you're a porn addict essentially.
Yeah.
You're like seeing them
like,
all
you
as
know,
like dolls or dress ups or cosplayers or whatever.
or wear a
like-
fucking cheongsam. I'm like, I am not going to desecrate my traditional wear for your enjoyment.
so weird when they ask for that. It's just like, do you think I just have one of those just like lying
That
around
shit's
for
expensive.
Yeah, like what?
That shit's expensive.
And you think I'm just gonna be like just like rolling around in a bed with that? Fuck you. Like, excuse? Like,
No.
I don't know.
Traditional wear's expensive, man.
It's so
It's
pricey.
so expensive. And it's just like, I don't know. It's always, I'm sorry, but it's always the white man that do that.
Thank you.
It's always the white man that do that.
No, yeah.
From my experience, especially as a biracial person, I'm always getting some sort of something where they're just like, oh, I've never been with a Blasian before, you know.
Oh my god.
I've always wanted to be. Okay, so there's one. There's one.
Oh, here we go.
Where there was a man on Tinder that was just like, oh, so should I call you my chocolate dipped mango? Is that what I should call you? I was like,
No.
I was like, there's no way this man actually said this with his entire chest. You want to guess? You want to guess the race?
He spent all night writing that. Oh my god.
I was like,
was he white?
Was he palm colored?
oh, absolutely palm colored. I was like, why? Why was this?
Blockety block.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I'm not even going to entertain an answer for you, sir. But yeah, I get a lot of that, or even just like I'll even say even part of our like Asian brethren who just want to be with someone because they don't see me as an Asian person. They only see me as the black side of me a lot of the time.
Mhm.
And they're like, oh, you're different. You're not actually Asian, so I want to date you. And it's also to like upset my parents. And I'm like, can we not? How about that? I would really like to be seen as a person, not as a way to upset whatever, again, generational trauma that you have. That would be great. Like, I'm over it. So I get a lot of that, especially because I will usually say that, yeah, like I'm pan, I'm poly, and I'm half black, half Asian. So it usually gets a lot of, I just hit all the boxes for them to be like, oh, I'm here to accept or upset some sort of mother or auntie. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, that's not what I'm here for. I want to accept some sort of like, have a connection with you if that's how it's going to be. And I feel like that was a lot of my dating experience. It didn't matter what race it was at that point, where it would seem like there would be a connection. We go out on a date and then I would start to notice certain questions and I'm like, I feel like that's really odd for you to ask that. I know there was also some where I even got like, oh, you don't look Asian, or you don't look black, or you don't look this or do that. And I'm like, what am I supposed to look like? I really want to know. And there's like, oh, I mean, I'm not trying to offend you. I was just asking. Or I usually get the whole like, oh, I don't know anything about Filipino culture. And I'm like, that's fine. And they're just like, yeah, I know nothing about the Philippines. I'm like, Google is free, my friend.
Honestly.
Like, it's right there. It's right there, babes. You can you can do it. You have a phone. You found me on Tinder. You can look up what the Philippines is. So stuff like that. So it's odd. It's really, really odd behavior when it happens. So I usually I stay off of dating apps now, in that aspect, because I'm tired.
I don't blame you being tired, honestly.
Yeah.
No, that's so real, because there's always that thing where like they want to like talk you up about how interesting your culture is and how interesting your background is, but they don't know anything about it and they didn't bother to ask or learn anything about it up until meeting you.
Yeah,
Yep.
It just comes off as incredibly backhanded.
Yeah, or they'll
Straight up say, I love lumpia.
Yep. Or they'll say like, oh, I love Manny Pacquiao. He's my favorite boxer. And I'm like, okay, that's great. That's wonderful. Good for you. I'm so happy for
Indian dish. I'm like, I don't know what that is.
I don't know. Yeah, sometimes they'll like bring up something that I've never heard of, and I'll be like, that's good for you. Or they'll be like, oh, I love this rap artist. I'm like, I don't listen to rap or something like that. Or I'll like, I don't listen to this specific artist that you just said. And they're like, oh, you don't? Why? And I'm like, because people have different music tastes. They're like, well, that's really odd for you. And I'm like, why? Why is that odd for me specifically? You want to tell me? Want to tell me why?
And then it's like, well, I'm more Filipino than you because I have all these interests.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just
Which
really...
again, weeaboo energy.
Right.
Yep.
Exactly,
Yep. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Tourist
It's
energy.
really odd. Yeah. I've even had like certain people who aren't Filipino who were either stationed in the Philippines or have traveled to the Philippines for whatever reason, and they're just like, you've never like I've been to the Philippines when I was very young, but I haven't been back since then. And they're just like, oh, you haven't been back to like visit family and stuff? Like you don't just go? And I'm like, I don't have the money. You want to pay for me to go? They're just like, oh, like you're not like enveloped in your culture. Like what's going on with that? And I'm like, again, do you want to send me to like to go like embrace my culture better? Like I don't
Bitch, you
understand.
don't know me.
Yeah, it was just like I remember there's a couple people that were like that, and I was just like, just because you got to, you know, eat, pray, love in the Philippines, you're on your own. Like that's great, good for you. But I'm like, I'm working 2 jobs and trying to do my best and be a cute little anime VTuber on the internet. Like, fuck
Honestly,
off. Like I'm
We're
trying to make a living.
making
Yeah, like leave me alone.
Right.
Yeah, like I would love to go back and visit family and stuff like that, but I also just don't have the time. But that also doesn't make me less Filipino because I don't get to go back to the Philippines that often. I'm sorry.
100%.
Can I bring
Right.
something up with that too? Because like I think another thing with that, because I've also gotten that thing like, why don't you just go visit? Why don't you just go like see your family? And it's like, do you realize that like half the time, half of us are sending money back there because they need help?
Thank you. Yeah,
Like-
I don't know how many bulk buy-in boxes I've sent my entire life back to the back to cousins and aunts and uncles and family members back there of just like clothes I don't wear, canned food, like chocolate, whatever, and money, just so much money to the point where they send me freaking Facebook messages just randomly being like, "Hi, this cousin's going to college to become a nurse. Can you send my?" I'm like, "Sure." Here you go. Or like,
Fuck
yo,
it.
I can't eat I can't get groceries myself. Like, I'm sorry. And they're like, aren't you American? Don't you have money? And it's like, no.
Well,
I'm
and
also
shit
American, I'm
sends
poor.
here.
By the 1 pound bags. We were
Like, jeez. Like, I'm
Right, right.
trying. So, like,
Yeah.
it's tough, you know?
Before we move on, any final thoughts, you guys? If not,
No.
let's move on to the next question. I'm going to ask you all about popular media, and this can be again relevant to being Asian American or being LGBT. But the question essentially is: throughout the 2000s and 2010s, much was made about the lack of Asian Americans in popular media. Does representation still matter to you? Or have reached a point in media saturation where this is starting to matter less? So the context for this question is there are lots of Asians on TV now, and we can go back and forth on whether that is the right amount or not, but there are many roles, many visible Asians out there, and we know for about 2 decades it was sort of the focus of like online Asian American like thought. We need more representation, we need more role models, we need more masculine Asian men on the screen, we need more like everything. Have we hit a point, in your opinion, where we are beyond that? Or is there still somewhere to go? Like, is there representation you're not seeing in popular media?
I feel
I'm
like
low-key trying
growing
to
up,
think an answer.
I got one. I feel like growing
Okay.
up, we mostly just had like Margaret Cho, George Takei to be our queer representing Asians in media. And as we're opening up and helping everyone see themselves, being represented, it's really important to keep doing that. So we're not just like, oh, this is just a one-hit wonder. We're gonna do it for a little bit and then everyone's just gonna drop off and no one's gonna speak of it ever again. It's important to keep showing people that, hey, we're here, we're queer, we're here to fuck shit up.
Hell yeah.
Whilst also being Asian too. Like, I don't know how to explain this, but liking Asian people is not a trend.
Yo,
Like,
facts.
I don't know
Say it
how to
louder.
like, please, like, you can't just like Squid Game and all of a sudden not do anything else. Like,
Facts.
like, what's it called? I have one time there was one instance where my friend had made those like ube rolls from Steven Universe, and he actually made them themselves, and he actually wanted me to try some because I'm Filipino. Like, he wanted to have the validation, and this guy is not Filipino, so he wanted to make sure that he did it correctly. And I was like, wait, whoa, you know how to make this? How did you know how to make this? I was like, oh, like, because Steven Universe showed it. I was like, really? And I saw the episode where one of the characters, Lars, he is canonically Filipino in that series, and he made an ube roll cake. And I was like, whoa, wait, that's actually interesting. Wait, like that was the pivot like moment when I realized that like representation really is important, because like it really does educate people more on your culture. It can be used as a good thing. Like, if it weren't for that episode, my friend would not know how to make ube rolls and would not like give me some, you know? And those ube rolls were tasty. Those ube rolls were so tasty. I'm like, damn, I feel like, man, like I need to learn how to do this. Even I don't know how to do this. Like this, man, like I need to ask my dad to fucking like bake this, because I totally forgot.
Apparently,
But
it's very
like,
difficult to get the color right.
yeah, but like representation really is important, and like it educates people. It makes you like feel appreciated. Like there was the new Blue's Clues. Do you guys know like the new
Yes.
Oh,
this dude is
yeah.
Filipino,
Yes,
and
I'm
he's
so
hot.
happy.
Oh my god, he's so fine. He's so fine. I'm like, bruh. And then all of my friends come up to me, be like, Ice, have you seen the new Blue's Clues, dude? And I'm like, I honestly don't like anyone else besides Steven, like, or Steve, like the original Blue's
The
Clues.
original Steve,
like,
yes.
Yeah. So when I saw the new Blue's Clues, dude, I'm like, God damn! Like, okay, never mind. Maybe I should watch Blue's Clues again. Blue's Clues is like Blue's Clues is my childhood like favorite show, right? And it's been a while, and like, there was an episode where, I forgot the host's name on Blue's Clues now, but he brought his Lola in, and he did that gesture where it's like called out mano, where you like give respect to the elderly by putting your head over onto the elder's hand. That's just a genuine respect, right? And so many in those comments, our parents are like, what is that gesture? What are they doing? And then so many Filipinos are educating them and be like, that's like how you treat your elderly. Like that's how you give respect to the elderly. And the parents are like, oh, okay. My son was wondering about it. My daughter was wondering about it. Like, it's really important. This is why representation is really important, because it really does educate people. It really does. Like, it seems minor. It seems like it's a little small thing, you know? But it does give a huge impact. No matter how small it is, no matter if the character bakes a Filipino dish or if the dude just brings their grandma in, like small things like that, it spirals into like educating people, and I love that. That's how you know like representation is done correctly, right? Like you educate people even with just the smallest gestures like that. I don't know. That's just
you're
whole thing.
touching on something here about this also being children's programming too. Like I can't think of any cartoon characters or animated characters when I was young. Like the ones that are Asian, you could probably like mark on one hand. The ones that are Filipino, probably none.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's mattering because people see this in their formative years. They're becoming more aware. Well, this is a Filipino person, and it's no longer this block of like Asianness or specifically East Asianness that people just kind of know and associate. You know, with like Xiongsems and Qipaos and samurai swords and karate and kung fu.
Yeah, because like at the end of the day, like I genuinely don't think people mean to be racist. They're just being ignorant. Like they don't know.
Yep.
They don't know what these things are. And by providing representation, you're educating the ignorant people so that they're not so ignorant anymore. And you know, it avoids miscommunications of Asian people thinking that they're racist, where they're just being probably ignorant because they genuinely don't know and they want to learn.
No frame reference.
Yeah, like again, that's why representation is important. You're educating people and you're educating ignorant people so that they like know, you know, they just know. They now know what Filipino culture is like. They now know what Asian culture is like. Like, it helps. It really does help. I strongly believe that representation is still important. It's never going to be oversaturated. It really does help educate ignorant people. I would say that
Yeah,
is my
that was
final stance on this.
That's a great answer, honestly. Great answer. For the rest of the panel, just to reiterate, the question was, do you think that representation should be the focus or something that matters heavily in the 2020s, or are we at a point where we're looking at something potentially different as the focus of like online activism and like thought?
I want to let everybody else speak because I could speak on this for like an hour.
I'll say from my perspective on the question, there is a part of me that maybe gets a little bit frustrated with representation politics because it tends to be very heavily focused on media and Hollywood and TV. And I understand that it is valid. It's completely valid. I just feel like people get stuck in focusing only on that and not on the individual lives of people and improving like things that could be done differently. Or it tends to sanitize people's stories, I think. And this is why I think representation is very important, but I think it's good to have a diverse amount of stories. And I've experienced this example before, but Beef on Netflix.
Yep.
With Ali Wong and Steve Yoon. And like those are bad Asians. They're committing arson, they're killing people, they're burning shit down. Like, but that kind of visceral rage had never really been shown before, like in any kind of popular representation. And that's good. I want to see more of that, you know?
Right.
No, I think that's fair.
I'm gonna go to you, Mana.
Yeah, because I was gonna say. Yeah, I was gonna say Ice. No, I was gonna say Ice pretty much said everything that I felt, especially as another Filipino in the room, is that I felt like, especially even with like Neon being introduced with like gaming, especially Neon being introduced into Valorant, that was huge. I mean, I've been playing video games for a long time, and I don't think I've ever had a Filipino character that I can remember. Please, if anyone in chat or if anybody knows can correct me, but that was huge. So it's really funny also hearing other people just randomly say like Filipino phrases while we're playing games who are clearly not Filipino. It's interesting to me. So I think it's so I think it's awesome that it's slowly starting to happen for a lot more like other like Asian characters that are not just like I don't want to say typical, but like where a lot of the major media was that we're getting a lot more like maybe Thai or Filipino and other parts of Asia are getting a little bit more representation,
especially
as well.
Southeast Asia.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Southeast Asia.
Yeah.
And things like that.
When
So
Life
it's awesome.
Weaver was introduced in Overwatch,
Yeah, that was huge. I was so happy about
he's also
that.
fine. Oh my god! Sorry, this is the queer identity podcast, so I can say that. Like,
no, yeah, let it out.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's
He's
really
fine.
awesome that it's finally happening in all types of media, and the fact of like not just animation or even just Hollywood, but we're also getting it in video games as well, like playable characters with great voice lines that are being played by like Southeast Asian like voice actors, which is huge.
Also, fun fact: the voice actor for Life Weaver in Overwatch is a Thai BL actor.
That makes sense.
I've seen him. He's so handsome. Both the character and the voice actor. God damn.
Love it.
I wonder how they found him.
We're also hearing, so we have a Filipino character in Tekken, and Street Fighter also has Josie Rizal as well. She is Filipina. Yes.
Yes.
And relatively new, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you. I knew that there were some. I just like I think for like a shooter, I think that was pretty huge for me. So
Oh, they're the same person. My bad.
yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, Manta, go ahead.
Yes.
Let her rip.
Is it time to be Asian, Slavoj, Zizik?
Yeah, do it.
Everything boils down to ideology. No, I'm sorry, but I seriously, no, sorry, you do not. Philosophy is a drug. Do not get into it. You will not be able to not look at anything without a socio-political lens for the rest of your life. It is a curse. And in context to this conversation, representation in the media, have we gotten to the point of saturation or where it doesn't matter anymore? There will never be a point in my life where I will say representation does not matter or there isn't enough of it. Because especially in the lens of the Asian American Pacific Island representation, because there's so many, just to get to down to like just to keep touching on representation before getting into the niche of the Asian American perspective, media at its core will always be propaganda. It has been, is being, and will always be used to either humanize or dehumanize a certain demographic, whether that be subconsciously or otherwise. The lack of representation does contribute to the dehumanization of underrepresented demographics and minorities in any given society. And in the Asian American lens, this representation is heavily saturated on Eastern American cultures, like it's been brought up before. And in my opinion, until there is a queer Indian actor, actress, artist, until there is a like Pakistani queer, content creator that is a household name, there is no such thing as overrepresentation for any of those people or our people. And even I would go so far as to say the oversaturation of Eastern Asian cultures is a thing in combination of the underrepresentation of the other cultures. And while it does do well to humanize those they are representing, and while it doesn't directly dehumanize those that it doesn't, those cultures that aren't being represented are not getting any kind of spotlight. They're not getting any kind of humanization in any other sense. And if there's going to be one way to actually reach the hearts and minds of modern society, it is going to be through media.
Here, here.
Right.
God damn.
Right.
Okay.
Period. Like,
Yes, preach.
Very well said.
yes.
Thank you.
Writing that down to clip it later.
Sometimes I say things.
Yeah, no.
Sometimes I say things. Valid. Me too.
Valid. No, that's a great lens to look at it too, because while we don't want to look at it like a zero-sum game or like battling for the small share of the same thing, there is definitely room to go, because not everyone's equally represented. Absolutely.
Right.
Not everyone has
And
had
not
that
only-
share of that growing representation.
Absolutely. Not only is there representation, but there's a right and a wrong way to do it.
Mhm.
Right. And like, just the feeling, because like, obviously Philippines isn't a country that gets represented as much as East Asian countries, right?
Mhm.
Like, the feeling of being represented in media, like seeing people that are like you on media, it is such a good feeling. It is such a good feeling to see like a Cartoon Network character baking ube. It is such a good feeling to see a children's show having the host be Filipino. Like, it's I thought it didn't matter, but then I realized that I only thought that way because I was never represented until characters like those showed up. And I was like, oh my god, this feeling is amazing. I get to see people like me on TV. And I'm just saying, like, just that warm feeling of being represented, seeing your people being on screen, it's so nice. It is so nice. And I wish everyone had that feeling too. Like, I strongly wish that everyone would have that same feeling, the same way that I'm feeling right now whenever I see people of my kind on screen.
Have you
I don't
guys
know.
seen Crazy Ex-Girlfriend?
Yes.
Yes.
Heard
The
of.
love interest, Josh Chan.
Yep.
Mm.
Incredibly Filipino.
So
Mm.
fine, by the way.
Have you guys seen The Good Place?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Who is that?
I
Filipino
forgot his
actor?
name, but yes, also
Yes.
fine,
Yeah.
by the way. He's also
Yes.
going to be in
Um,
something recent, like new. I can't remember what he's going to be in, but he's also
Mhm.
like gearing up for a new role, and I'm also like, yes, more of that.
And he's
please.
also fine. Like, where
Mhm,
are all
correct,
these
correct.
fine Filipino actors coming from? I
was like,
do not get it. Where are
Manny
they
Jacinto
coming
is from Canada.
Yes.
Oh, that makes
Yo.
sense.
Yes.
There's actually apparently there's a lot of Filipinos in Canada, so that also
Yes,
tracks.
there
Yeah.
are very many.
Yeah.
Is like Filipinos being fine a new stereotype? Like,
Hell yeah.
I mean, it's wild because there are a lot of because in the Philippines, like being in entertainment is like a huge thing. You're either in entertainment or you're a freaking nurse. Like they're like you're in the medical field or you're doing entertainment. Like
mhm.
like that's
so
kind of
funny.
like where you no, but it's am I wrong?
It's
Like,
true. I find it funny because it's true. I am not invalidating that whatsoever.
it's wild to me, but like I feel like they're just kind of either stuck kind of doing stuff in the Philippines and haven't really broke out into things out here in America yet, and they're stuck doing like crazy like Filipino telenovelas, like in a sense. My god, Filipino dramas are so wild to watch.
Hold on right now. Hindi ako si Celine. And you
Yeah.
will never be
Oh,
Celine.
God. Oh, it hurts me. It hurts it's just my blood pressure is rising just thinking about it. But like they're there. Like there's so many like absolutely stunning like Filipino like models, actors. I mean, they're just super talented, but they're all either just kind of stuck out there and don't know how to get out here, or they're doing really well there, so they just kind of stay there, and that's totally fine. Like, get your bag, you know. But
Mhm.
I'm also like, come here, you're so pretty.
I got into it in episode 3, so I won't get too much into it again. But Filipino people being hot, especially Filipino men being hot, is not a new thing. The immigration from the Philippines was literally banned from 1922 to like the 50s
I heard about that.
Oh my
because of the
god.
Watsonville riots, in
Yep.
which people
Yep.
were
Oh, that's
very
right.
upset.
I forgot about that.
So just
Yeah.
very quick summary. Filipino men coming over here, getting agricultural jobs, dressing really nice because they had watched Hollywood movies. So 3-piece suit, think about that in the 20s. Dating white women, people were very mad because these were fit, well-dressed guys with money who were like basically taking all the eligible girls, and like there was a riot and the government's like, no more Filipinos.
That's hilarious.
30 years.
Stay fucking mad. Stay fucking mad.
Crazy.
Hold on, what-
Know your
what
history,
year-
people.
Hold on, what years were those again? Can you give me those years again?
1922 Watsonville riots in California.
It would be Callie. Hello.
I just want to see who the president was at the time.
Probably
It was Harding, but Coolidge and Woodrow Wilson was right behind him.
Yeah, Wilson, Coolidge, Harding, Coolidge, Hoover, FDR.
Curry says skill issue.
Skill issue, exactly.
For real.
It really was a skill issue.
Yeah.
That is the
Like,
biggest
these
cope
guys
I've ever
These
seen.
other guys weren't washing their asses. Meanwhile, the
Facts.
Filipino guys were like dressing up nice in the suits, going to the dance halls, dancing, doing
That's
the Hollywood
so
moves.
No, the Filipinos had the
Yeah.
tabo. That's why.
yeah.
Filipinos
For
can
real.
sing too.
For real.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
Like, what's a bidet? I use a towel.
I use a tabo. Yes. Thank you, Ice. Thank you.
Also, like,
What is
Also,
a
like-
tabo but a poor person's bidet? Let's be real.
Look.
I mean,
Look.
right? Yeah, like, save money.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Is that the cup that's next to the toilet?
Yes.
Yep. Or the
Okay.
Tupperware.
Yep.
Just checking.
Oh my goodness.
It's crazy because that basically means that like it's the same way like the British males reacted to the Vikings back in the day. I don't know if you heard about that, but basically the exact same thing. Like Vikings came over to the like UK Isles, and the women noticed that they actually like brushed their hair and took showers on a regular basis, and were like, "Oh damn!" And British people got mad.
Right.
You heard it here first.
Wow.
Filipino people are the Vikings of California.
Filipino Vikings? Ooh, I would smash. Wait, what?
Yo.
That's the point I was getting to.
Sorry, what? Is this the right podcast? I'm sorry.
Ice is in the depths.
It
Right,
occasionally
sorry.
is the proper podcast.
Okay.
Effie, do you have any further thoughts about representation, whether it be LGBT or Asian?
just give me more, man. Just give me more. That's all
Facts.
I want.
Mm.
Mood.
It's just like
Right.
we're literally just being like, hey, you can be on TV too. You could be really cool too, or you don't have to be cool to be on TV. We're all fucking dorks and we're on TV.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
We're just people. We're just people, man.
Mhm.
Honestly.
Yeah, I think that's what was really like sort of outstanding about like everywhere, always at one. Wait, everywhere, every place, all at once.
Everything, everywhere, all at once.
All at
Thank
once.
you.
Yep. We knew what
I
you
love
were.
that movie so much. I love.
You were
that
doing.
movie.
You were doing so well.
I know,
You're
I was so
close.
close. I had all the
Oh,
parts.
also, oh my goodness! Everything, everywhere, all at once. One of the main characters, a queer Asian.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh my
Yes.
god.
Mhm.
Perfect representation for our podcast. That's our mascot. I love Stephanie.
No, for real,
too.
for real.
I love Stephanie so much. I love her.
Hell yeah.
Mhm.
No, that movie really did kind of break a glass ceiling in more ways than one.
It really did.
Yeah, in the ways that Crazy Rich Asians was like a breakthrough of like pretty hot like Asian people.
That was
Yep.
so wild how everybody I knew who wasn't Asian was just like, wow, Asians are really hot. And I'm like, nah. For real? Like, hello? Where have you
Really?
been? Yeah, there was a few like white people who
Really?
were like, oh my god, like this is crazy. Why are they all so hot? And I'm like, excuse you? Like what's
Because
wrong
You
once
with
think
again,
they
they're late
were
on
before?
everything.
Hello.
you? Yep, yeah, for real.
But in some ways, like this movie like showed a different side of things, like tired,
Right.
working class people,
Mhm.
like queer people,
Yeah.
people who like, are
Immigrants.
just ordinary ass people.
Mm.
Yep.
Mhm. The working class.
Yeah,
We're
working
just out
class
here to
people.
survive, man.
Yeah,
Yo.
it was a good
Mhm.
vibe. It was a very good
Mhm.
movie because like it goes back to like that's what you want to see more of. Like, not every Asian story has to be exceptional because normal stories are good too.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Mhm.
All right, I'm
Is
gonna
it
go
bad
back
that
and-
I've never
I
actually
think the
seen
next
those movies?
question that
You
you'll
should.
ask, Aisha, will be
You
my
should.
last
It's
one.
real good.
Oh, absolutely, Ice. In that case, I'm going to go back to masculinity again, actually. The image of masculine Asians has changed somewhat in recent years, from a very narrow, sometimes derogatory definition, to a more holistic landscape, spanning K-pop idols to Hollywood hunks. Is there a depiction of Asian American people, especially those that identify as LGBT, that is missing from the popular consensus? So what I'm asking here is, are we not seeing enough of certain types of folks, whether it be like
We.
Mhm.
Sorry, I
I
was gonna lead off with a joke. I was just gonna say we need a gay Jason Momoa as a Disney princess, and I'm not exaggerating.
Yes.
Oh, I love that.
Hell yeah.
But like, okay, it's kind of funny in a way that's like, because us Americans, the Asian actors that are in America, like Asian Americans, like, and they adhere to American beauty standards,
Mm.
but K-pop idols, they don't adhere to American beauty standards. They adhere to Korean beauty standards, right?
Mm.
So that's, I feel like that kind of, those two things kind of like divided what quote unquote an Asian guy is supposed to look like. You know what I mean? Like they either look, you would if you're thinking narrow-mindedly, either an Asian guy is supposed to look like a K-pop idol or a buff guy.
Yeah,
Oh,
for real.
Mhm.
like it's either one of those two. And like honestly, I wish we had I wish we could I wish more people could see more different like body types of Asian men, because like I don't want there to just be two options. I don't want for myself to either fall down to the path of being a flower boy twink or a buff hunk man. You know what I mean? Like
Literally.
Yeah,
I
no,
wish
no,
I can be
absolutely.
I want to be in the middle, you know? I want to be a twunk.
Literally.
Yes.
Or can we
That's
like?
My thing.
Dad bods are still a thing.
Yeah, can we have like one soft-bodied hot male Asian actor or even actress? Honestly, like
No, they're all getting hot. Look at what's his face, Kumail Nanjiani. He's got like a six-pack now.
Oh my god.
Yes.
not
Like, I
you
don't know,
too,
it's just-
Kumail.
But I liked them before they were quote unquote hot.
Oh no.
John Cho,
Right.
hot. Kumail Nanjiani,
Oh,
hot. Cal Penn,
yes.
hot. They're all getting hot.
No.
No,
Make it stop. Make it stop.
make them
Like-
do another White Castle, please.
Oh my gosh.
Um,
Maybe yeah, like that's my opinion on it. Like, and then sometimes some Asian beauty standards, some they're starting to kind of bleed through into the American scene as well. Cause like
Mm.
I see so many non-Asian people adore Asian actors like Park Seo Joon. Park Seo Joon is fine, but like
Mm.
Park Seo Joon is obviously Korean, so he adheres to Korean beauty standards. So that's a different. It it it's funny to me how it's not funny, but like it's interesting how I see Americans like Asian guys that do not adhere to American beauty standards. I don't know. It's just interesting for me to
Absolutely.
point out.
No, I fully agree.
we could spend like hours unpacking Korean beauty standards too, but that's a
Oh,
different
Lord.
podcast.
Right.
Ice, you
Yeah.
mentioned that you have to go.
Yes, I think this was my last question.
Sure. Would you like
So
to do
I'll
a
have to
plug
take my
before you
leave.
head out?
Yes. Like, do I type it or like do I just say
You,
it?
you could say it. You could say it out loud.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, make sure you follow me on my YouTube, Iceboy ASMR. But also, I do live stream ASMR on my Twitch. And also, the ASMR Vtuber Awards are up, and I would sincerely request that you guys vote for me as for the Starlight Award for the ASMR VTuber Awards. And also, it's AAPI month, so just saying.
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
Just saying. But I think that's it. I think that's it. Thank you so much for having me, though, Atra. And
Thank you so much for being here.
other panelists too. I love y'all. Heart. Oh my goodness. It's nice having a conversation with y'all.
It
Absolutely.
was nice
Take
to meet
care.
you guys.
Love,
to meet you
love.
guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Oh, I miss him already.
Me, I was gonna say that.
Oh, same brain. Same brain.
I didn't even get to ask if he was single.
Oh no!
Pop.
Other times.
DMs,
Opportunities
DMs.
for other times. Yeah.
Yeah.
Reason to slide? Like,
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm gonna shift you guys over just a tiny bit. There you go.
Getting
You're
scooched,
moving me
getting scooched.
already?
Yeah, there we go. Nice and roomy.
release me.
Release me.
So I will say, like, when it comes to, I think, representation that might be missing, like, it's already kind of hard to find South Asian representation. I do read a lot of Asian American lit, so the literature is actually there. Like, people talking, like, saying, having diverse stories, authors getting published, and so on.
Mhm.
But when it comes particularly to queer Asian stories, and when it comes particularly towards lesbian South Asians, butch lesbian South Asians, not feminine, like, that's not even portrayed in the slightest. And I'm sorry, but I've got butch aunties. Like,
They do, in fact, exist.
yeah.
They do.
Oh,
in fact.
And like, where is that? Because I think there is an obsession with, even when someone is LGBT, and this is me straight male like talking right now, so feel free to pull me up if I'm wrong. But I feel like there is an obsession with like femininity, even when you're showing like people who are lesbian or, you know, bi, and they just have to be feminine to be portrayed on screen, is the feeling that I'm getting.
I mean, we kind of been new. I mean, porn kind of ruined that
Mhm.
for a lot of things. Like we've
It's true,
like
it's true.
it's unfortunate in that sense because especially as a person, like a lot of people know if you follow me on Twitter or anything. My day job is I work at a library, and we fight all the time for an LGBTQ section, which I can gladly say we made it as like a permanent display. It's not like a permanent collection, but it's a permanent display now, so like they can't remove it, which is great. And it is so hard finding already content like books to like fill up the section that we have, but even just to find more like POC like gay like books in any way, shape, and form, or queer books to put there is just so tough. And I've noticed that anytime we have some sort of like lesbian literature, it's usually like the white variety, and it just makes me really sad because I feel like we do need a little bit more in there. And if it is like, if I do find one that's usually something of that nature, it's usually very, very, very feminine, and it just makes me really sad.
Hmm. I totally agree. Like basically most, if not all, of the LGBTQ media in or even representation in America is through the white lens.
Mm-hmm.
And it's tough because like you don't necessarily like it's already hard enough for LGBT voices to get out there because like Squee has mentioned like libraries and like that is a point of contention across this country because people don't want their kids reading books about gay people.
It was crazy. Yeah. Sorry, Manta, if you wanted to.
No.
get
I
in
was
there.
even just gonna bring up the like just because we're talking about being queer in libraries, freaking like drag show readings or something
Yep.
like that, or drag queen readings, like
Yeah, we can't even
that-
have them in our libraries. That's for sure.
start riots and shit over kids fucking reading stories or hearing stories.
Yep.
I'm sure it's different in the People's Republic of Canada though. Like
just call,
Wow,
just call them out like that.
elbow, nudge, nudge.
Well, if you
crazy.
must know,
yes, librarian.
yes, you're very welcome. I feel like the collections that we have in Canada at like bookstores and libraries are pretty like they're pretty good considering we passed law for legalizing gay marriage first. so just saying, I'm
I
sorry.
actually didn't know that.
My
Yeah.
heart.
I'm sorry. I love you guys, but like we did it first.
That's fair.
No, that's
And
valid.
like
That's so valid.
literature is pretty easygoing here, considering as long as it's not like offensive or
Sure.
like it's not offensive. Like it's just people writing about their stories, and most libraries will pick up any book that is not offensive. And sometimes we do have offensive stuff because literature
Of course.
itself,
Yeah.
and like war and stories and stuff like that. But
Mhm.
I do agree that the queer POC butch categories are pretty lacking.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a lot of independently published books that do cover that, but obviously when they're independently published, they don't get reviewed as easily to be put into the libraries and such because you have to get them reviewed first.
Mhm.
So that's the downside. But my personal library has a decent amount of those.
Mhm.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I definitely
I just
think. Oh, sorry.
No, go for, keep going. Go for it.
No. I insist.
It just publishing houses make it really difficult for anyone that's not like white or mainstream to put out
James
their
Patterson.
books. Yeah. Like I feel like publishing houses are getting a lot better at that, but it's
They
just
are.
gonna take time for the board to move on to more open-mindedness and being willing to take a chance on a story that's different. And even then it's not that different, right?
Right.
Yep.
Just a story is about being human.
Exactly. Just literally existing in the world. Like it just it shouldn't be this hard to be able to publish that, but unfortunately it is.
But does
It's
it make
crazy.
the money?
You could have a
exactly.
completely regular heterosexual romance novel, and then literally the last the last four words of the book just have to be and they were gay, and then all of a sudden it's on the ban list.
Oh no!
It is. It's so
Roommates.
true. And they were roommates.
Literally.
They were roommates.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, the humanity.
Well, you can imagine, like, even for a traditional medium like publishing, if it's hard there, how hard is it going to be to get on TV or past Netflix or Hulu or Hollywood?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's no different, if not worse, because then you have to actually sell your image too.
Right.
Yep.
But isn't that why we put ourselves on Twitch and YouTube as we're doing now?
Absolutely.
It's like we're gonna make that space for ourselves to show the kids that hey, you're allowed to be who you are.
Exactly.
Aren't you a YouTuber?
Pot
You,
kettle
kn-
black, sir.
you know, you knew
Kettle black.
what, you know what they meant.
You shut your face. You pot
Okay.
kettle black, sir.
Okay.
No, I actually fully agree with you though, because that's literally like one of the reasons I became a content creator is because like I don't think Palauan celebrities exist outside of Palau. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
No facts.
And if I gotta be the first one, I'll fucking try at least. I don't know where I'm gonna make my fucking mark, but I'm gonna find it.
Hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah.
It always gives you the opportunity to say you're the #1 Palauan streamer.
I actually, unconfirmed, I am. Unconfirmed, I am the
Let's go,
#1
let's
Palauan
go.
content creator in
I
existence.
love that.
There are
Let's go.
18,000 Palauans on the globe. I challenge any of them to freaking fight my numbers, and then if they beat me, I'm gonna cry in the corner and then probably up them too because I love that. I don't care who wins. We all win.
Yeah, but you know that is kind of a good point, like about YouTube, and because we're all content creators, we make content and we're representative of these individual cultures and experiences. So, how many South Asian male YouTubers do you know?
One.
Yeah.
Yep.
The way I thought about it for a second.
But like
Yeah.
it gives us the ability to transcend past the traditional gatekeepers of media and make our own thing, and that's what's great about the online space.
Markiplier made me believe I could do it.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
exactly. We
Like,
had a whole-
unironically.
yeah, we just had a whole thing about like content creators, like inspiring the next generation of content creators. Like there's truth to that, because seeing other people do it will inspire you to do things too, and not just kids, of course, but like just anybody. Someone who's like 19 and like wanting to express themselves will see a VTuber doing it and be like, yeah, I can do that.
It's funny that you bring that up because my brother actually called me yesterday, and his friend, I mean, they're in their mid-20s or early 20s, was like, I want to become a VTuber, and at first I was like, no, I mean, what do you mean? What do you mean by that? And so it was just really nice to like hear all the questions they had, and because my brother only knows one VTuber, aka me, they wanted to. He was like, yeah, I can, ask my sister, and so we got into a call together. We were just talking about it, and she's also Filipino, so it was really nice to like talk it out and everything. And I was like, I think you should wait a little bit until you figure out like what you want to do. But it was just really nice that she like was really happy that there were other like Asian VTubers out there that she could like look up to and look around and figure out like what she wanted. And I thought that was really sweet. So
Hell yeah, good on you for helping out the next generation.
yeah, I know. Thanks. It felt weird, but thanks.
Absolutely.
And actually, when you were mentioning like kids and stuff like that too, I was like, oh dang, actually that does matter because my kid was actually obsessed with Ryan's World for the longest time, and that absolutely was, Asian representation. And my kid actually did feel like there was someone that looked like them that was like pretty popular, and I feel like that was pretty cool.
So cute, right? Be like, that little boy's like me. I can be like that too. Or
Yeah,
it's
like they
not
wanted to start their own
weird.
little YouTube channel. Yeah.
It's like fucking, when we were kids, we would go to school and be like, "Oh shit, I can't bring my traditional food to school because it smells." And now
Yup.
everyone's like, "Oh my
Mhm.
god, fish sauce is so amazing!" I'm like, "Great, but huh? Great, but huh?"
Why are you switching up now?
Yep.
Ugh.
Yeah, it is interesting, like how the growth of like Asian food and culture and everything has sort of expanded so dramatically, even in like places that aren't like major coastal cities.
Mm-hmm.
Ohio.
Yeah,
Ohio.
you can get bubble tea now in Ohio and in more than one place too. In Columbus,
Ayo.
you don't have to go to the
What?
Little Asia strip mall. There's other places too. There's a Kung Fu Tea in Columbus now. You can get
What?
yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, we're living in 2024, people.
Yeah, it's the same way. It's the same way in the Phoenix area too. Like that little plaza I was talking about isn't a thing anymore. It's everywhere.
Oh my god.
I remember I was going down to Greenville, South Carolina. I'm like, I wonder what it's like down there. open up like downtown Korean barbecue, Thai food, sushi. I'm like, okay, yeah, this is.
Mhm.
I'm familiar with what this is.
Hell yeah.
Also, it's a sundown town. No fucking.
Is it really?
No, I mean, well, if you're in fucking South Carolina, fucking chance you got like at least a 10% chance, if not higher.
Good point. This is a aside, but what their alcohol, their local brewing is not good.
Oh!
God, there was no way. I was gonna say they're using seawater. Of course, it tastes like crap.
It's giving notes of seaweed and kelp.
I mean, and soup is delicious.
Yeah, like
I mean,
just
yeah,
miso
that's
soup in a
fair.
can.
Oh my god.
Oh my God, does this IPA have hints of Floridian pollution? Wow.
Oh, my favorite.
Delicious.
Runoff.
Ah,
That's actually the name of the IPA.
Yeah,
Stop,
runoff
stop,
IPA.
stop.
you just had to go there.
Oh my god.
Runoff IPA. Charleston, South Carolina.
Mm-mm. I'm gonna die.
Directly from the 2 taps.
That sounds disgusting, but it's a 9%.
Yeah,
I'm
9%
just gonna
all
go.
I'd rather take a shot of Jaeger. Damn.
Right? Like.
Oh man.
Okay, back on track. So I do have another media question, and it's pretty simply: have you ever seen a piece of popular media that spoke particularly well to the Asian American queer experience? And if not, what would you like to see from your ideal piece of media that would represent that?
Ooh, that's a really good question.
Recently, it's only been Eugene Lee Yang.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Stan Eugene.
Stan
Thank
Eugene
you.
all the time.
Thank you for the try, guys, for accidentally putting queer Asian representation out there.
Accidentally BuzzFeed, thank you.
Yeah, literally low key.
Accidentally.
So,
And I
for
But
feel
no,
like-
seriously.
those watching who don't know who that is, can you give us a little intro to who that is?
Oh yeah, so like Eugene Lee Yang, sorry, is one of the Try Guys. If you don't know who the Try Guys are, they're just a group of goofballs who, literally, as their name implies, tried a bunch of weird trendy internet challenges and things like that. They were a group off of BuzzFeed and stuff like that. And through their growth and stuff like that, Eugene Lee Yang came out as bisexual, and I believe. Or gay? Is he gay?
Mm.
Just like straight gay?
Mhm.
And because again, look, there's so many people. No, hold on. I'm gonna touch on something real fast that is actually a big hot button topic in the gay community,
Sure.
and that is puritism with the
gotcha.
identities. And as a bisexual, my thing is like. Just call yourself what you are. If you like everything, even if it's a little bit of this and a lot of that, like I feel like that's bisexual. If you identify as gay, I'm not going to challenge you. But like I always do make a point, like, oh, are you like just like, again, like I said, like, are you like just like 100% gay, like you're just into that stuff, like, and again, I'm not doing that to challenge anybody's identity. It's more just to absolutely make sure that's how they identify, or like, whatever.
Mhm.
But you hear about gold star lesbians, you hear about like
Yep.
Dude.
Yep.
you hear
God.
about and then for those who don't know, gold star lesbians are lesbians who have never been with a man and have only been with women, and it's like a little like trophy that they like to carry around in the community. And it's toxic because it gatekeeps a lot of other women who are trying to search and find their identity and didn't just like start out as gay as a child, or like didn't realize that they were gay as a child, and like
Or
had a
afraid
lot
to
of
be.
they went through the the heterosexual like
Yep.
experience before really coming out, or as they say, late in life gays, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yep.
And that is something that is just like, again, like it's a hot topic issue in a lot of gay communities, because to some people it matters, to some people it doesn't, and a lot of people like to make a stink about it. And I think there is a point where you have to make sure that your points of pride aren't kind of like low-key stepping on other people, you know what I mean?
Of course.
Mhm.
Of course.
Unless they're into
And
that.
I was gonna say, with consent, guys, with consent.
Unless they're into that.
Yep.
no kink shaming unless kink shaming is your kink,
Is
right?
your kink?
Yeah.
Yep.
Right,
Mhm,
yep,
mhm, mhm. Rule number one.
But yeah, that is legitimately why I ask questions like that. Like, are you gay? Like, are you like, you know, like do you identify that way? Are you only into men? Because, you know, there are a lot of people like, oh yeah, I'm gay, but, you know, like some women are hot, or like I sleep with my best friend a lot, even though she's like, you know, not, you know, gay or straight, or she's also a lesbian or something. Like, I've heard so many stories like that. And again, I'm like, I'm not going to challenge your identity, but also, like, you know, reflect a little bit.
It was more because you said straight gay, which was a funny term to me.
Right, exactly. I meant like I don't know how else to say. Like, are you pure, concentrated, 100% gay? Like, are you like, are you
You're concentrated.
like, are you gay with extra pulp, or like, are you gay with no pulp? Like,
Oh.
But I'd like a little bit of pulp though.
and that's fine, and that's
fine.
totally okay.
That's totally okay.
It's valid if you like pulp. I love pulp too. I'll get the extra pulp. I'll
Hey.
put extra pulp in my juice.
Okay,
I'll juice an orange and just have the
Oh.
orange.
Hell yeah.
I'm sorry, I derailed you completely.
Not at all. Not at all. No, I love shit like that. Are you kidding me? That's my life force. But no, that is a thing. And but yeah, no, Yuji Liang did come out during his experience with the Try Guys, and, you know, lucky for him, not only were at least his mom, I think, was supportive, but he had supportive parents, his friends were supportive, he had a very supportive social circle, which is a huge make or break factor in someone's coming out experience. And Eugene Liang was able to have this, like, he made this big, beautiful video for coming out, and has since then been so proud of himself and wearing his identity on his sleeve. And I think that is a great role model for someone who but should at least want to be gay, Asian, whatever, and proud. You know what I mean? And that's not just for the gay Asian men. That's also for, like, trans Asian women. You know, that's also for, like, asexual Pacific Islander people. You know what I mean? Like, everybody should get that representation, and I think everybody should feel proud and be able to walk on the streets and be able to say, this is who the fuck I am. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's a great
100%.
example. Yeah.
So I think, yeah, sadly, he's probably one of the only people that comes to mind when I think of recent queer Asian model or like role models, but he's a great one, at least.
I mean, there's also Lily Singh. She's also
Yeah, I was gonna say Lily Singh is another one.
Lily.
Yeah.
I was also gonna say that also kind of like implies that I don't know anything about Rina Sawayama, and that is just so not true.
I feel like you have a lot to say about Rina.
I want to be her, but like, anyways.
Hey,
No.
Either way, I misspoke earlier, but Yuji Liang is a big one, because I think the reason why he comes out, I think, is because he's someone who speaks out a lot on it, where I feel like Rina Sawayama is someone who just lives that life. You know what I mean?
I hope that, at least, that, like, you know, as these stories become more prominent on various platforms, that this is not an exceptional thing. It's something that becomes more consistent as we go along. I would say something that I've read semi-recently that I think was a good encapsulation, like, not speaking from personal experience, but I thought showed it very well to me, or explained very well to me, was Ocean Vuong's On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous, a book. It received lots of acclaim, but essentially it was about his experience, like, living with his mother and, like, struggling with that identity of being gay and closeted, and sort of being abused and assaulted by other men, like, while trying to find himself. It was a deeply sad but deeply powerful book, and I think, like, while I find that these trauma stories are very prevalent in Asian American literature and culture and depictions, it still was important to see that side of things, like that sort of, like, sadness and brutality and, like, feelings of both joy and hopelessness in an Asian male, I think. So that's why I would always point to that book, for example, as a great example of something recent that I've seen that people should look at to see more about the queer experience.
What was the title again?
I'll type it in chat. It's On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous.
I will actually have to look into that, put that on my list.
Yeah, I believe it was him growing up in, like, rural Massachusetts.
Oh.
Oh,
Damn.
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
Not the best place to be gay and not white.
Right, like
Yep.
the late 80s, early 90s, I believe.
Oof.
And that'd be rough today. Like,
Mm.
It's a bit of a heavy book, but I do recommend it.
well, that's people need to see that. People need to see the fucking reality of it because you know being gay isn't actually just sparkles and unicorns and rainbows.
It's
Being
facts.
being gay is not just Pride Parade, and Pride did not used to always be a parade.
Mhm.
Yep.
And so yeah, that is critically important. Queer literature is seeing the struggles, is remembering shit like Stonewall, is So actually, thank you so much for bringing that up because that shit, that is right there. That's right up my alley.
So now I'm remembering other types of media. I wouldn't say like the media that I remember are recent, obviously, but growing up with like Sailor Moon and Cardcaptor Sakura, we saw like a lot of queer representation in just like in Japanese media. We had a lot of
Yep.
that, and it was just really eye-opening to be like, oh shit, I can be gay, but like be okay with my friend not that my friend that I love not being gay. Like
Yep.
how do I unpack that? And it's okay to not be wearing frilly skirts or like wearing makeup all the time or long hair, bullshit like that, and still be feminine or who I am authentically.
I fully agree. The gay Asian community owes a lot to Oron Host Club.
Oh,
Yo.
Has that aged well? I saw a post about it recently. That people were talking
Not
about it's-
really,
Yeah.
but it's there.
It's just one of those things.
It's
one of
Mulan. It's fine.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
It's absolutely okay to criticize it today, but it is not bad to say that it did actually help you find
Yeah.
yourself when you were
Oh, yeah.
younger.
Yeah.
100%.
Honestly, it's not even one of the titles I would say swayed me, but I love that you brought up anime because again, just like forgetting like where the fuck I came from. Ranma One Half.
Oh, hell yeah,
Ranma
Ranma.
was definitely one for sure.
That cracked the shit out of my egg when I was a kid. And then also, this is a less known one, but did y'all ever watch Mysterious Play or Fushigi Yugi?
Oh
I
yeah.
did. I did not.
That okay, highly recommend for all the shoujo
Aging.
lovers out there.
Aging ourselves.
Literally. But there is a trans woman in that
Ooh.
show, and I think they are very
Oh
much
my god, you're right.
right. I forgot about them, but I also remember as a kid just like kind of being a little like, wow, I'm very interested in you for some reason.
Huh.
And I think in the show they're very much like referred to as like a cross-dresser or whatever, but it's like let's just say what it is, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, so yeah, Ranma One Half because oh man, boy turns into a girl. Oops, girl turns back into a boy. Like yeah, of course I'm gender fluid. What the fuck? No. But yeah, that I think is really great. Just to kind of like even just like to get the idea of transition in your head, or even to like normalize that, and then like yeah, Mysterious Play I think just had that. It's one of those things where it had that low key subtle representation where it didn't have to be like, hey, look at the trans character who is now very trans in this scene. It's just like
Right.
they were there, they had a part, they had a role that was part of the plot in the story, they filled it, and they just happened to be trans. Like that's
Yeah.
some of the best representation you can get.
Like it Fushigi Yugi being a battle shonen as well, which was extra poignant.
Mm.
And I'm like looking at my books right now. I'm like, oh yeah, Adventure Time was so good for fucking queer youth.
Oh, yep. Especially that more recently in the more recent generations, right?
Oh my god, right.
I still cannot believe it didn't come out until 2011. I thought because I saw the pilot on YouTube in like 2007, so that's where my head starts Adventure Time, but the show itself didn't come out till 4 years later. I'm like, I was out of high school.
I was a working adult.
Like, yeah. So that means that Princess Bubblegum and Marceline didn't have their little fling until like 2013, 2014.
Oh my god.
So yeah, apparently lesbianism wasn't invented until just recently. Thank you,
we
Rebecca
all had a
Sugar.
feeling. We all had a feeling.
Welcome to the Upper 30s podcast, by the way.
Oh man.
Welcome to
What
the
else
We
is
Remember
there?
the 90s podcast.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Aging us. Then
That's
again, we're
so
aging
rude.
ourselves.
You're aging yourself with these anime references.
I can't help but I grew on.
You
My auntie
asked.
got me into anime, alright?
Hey, same. And by auntie, I mean my mom. But love you, mommy.
It's just
I'm-
I was the kid that like my mom's like, I have to work, so I'm just gonna put on a random TV show, and she didn't know what it was, and it was Toonami, so it was just like, yeah, I'm here. Whatever was
Thank you,
on.
Tsunami.
hmm
Thank you,
The best
Toonami.
babysitter.
Hashtag thank you, Toonami.
Yeah,
For
Tom was the
birthing
best babysitter.
generation of VTubers.
No, Tom was the best babysitter. I always felt safe. The only man I feel safe with, kind of, not really.
He did.
And
had
he
that
still
kind of
left us.
voice.
Can you believe that?
Yes.
Man, I gotta write that down. That could be an entire episode of The Depths, just like anime and its like influence on like queer culture. And
Damn
Mhm.
right.
Anime or hentai?
Do you want to talk about hentai?
I'm just saying. Just saying.
I don't think hentai has done much for the gay
I
community.
was gonna say, I was like, wait a minute.
I think hentai set the gay and Japanese community back by decades.
Oh my god.
Now, BL on the other hand, and yaoi,
I
that's a
am.
different story.
I was gonna say that's something.
Yeah, yaoi and yuri actually I feel like have more of a hold than just hentai.
Do you find that like consuming, if you are into such like yuri or yaoi, is sometimes like, I know it's not Asian American culture, it's Japanese culture, but do you find that you identify with characters in yaoi and yuri like works?
I think definitely in the
Personally?
gay lens.
I say personally, I don't.
Yeah, me neither.
I don't in the sense that I never, because like again, like you never, like it's so hard to find a yaoi or yuri where they're like not in school, and I've never been to a Japanese school and like
Yep.
fall in love with somebody who's wearing the same uniform.
That's
Yeah.
But then that's the thing is that like, so I guess like that, it's a very, I think yaoi and yuri is a very like Japanese lens, but I think there is a lot to relate just through the gay lens, like I said, like like kind of like having weird feelings about your classmate, or even like it's like or your friend, and you're just like, do I like him as a friend, or do I actually have to sit on this for a second? Like
Mm.
that I feel like is pretty common, like gay youth kind of experience, but literally almost everything else about it is very like Japanese fantasy style for sure.
Yeah.
Controversial statement, make Persona 6 adults, not high school.
Yes, thank you.
Age up your series, people.
Do it.
We're not getting any younger.
No, literally. It was so cute that those series thought that they were just gonna grab the next generation and the older generation was gonna let go of it.
Mm-mm.
Looking at Pokemon.
Looking at
That's foul.
Not us still playing Pokemon.
Yeah, no. You'll pry that from our cold, dead, arthritic fingers. Gnarled from years of making Olympia.
I feel attacked. That's so rude.
Atra is the most rude.
I am very.
But now I just like remember that one episode where James gets fake tits for the swimsuit contest.
Mm-hmm.
And how
Which
did
again-
that shape us as queer youth?
Exactly. Because one, that those didn't look fake.
Yeah, right.
I don't know how he managed that one. But James was also actually very like not worried about looking masculine.
James from Pokemon, the queer icon.
Actually, both James and Jesse are queer icons, let's be
I was
real.
gonna say,
It's
Real.
true. It's true.
Real.
It's true.
Like they served so much cunt through that whole series.
Oh my god.
Point out the part of the sentence where I'm wrong. Just do me that.
No,
There-
no,
there is
no.
nothing
No, 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 no,
Right,
nobody's
right.
nobody's arguing with you. Nobody's arguing with you.
Controversial but correct.
Yeah, I remember just like looking at them, be like, I like them both. Fuck.
Yep.
Bi-coded hetero couples are amazing, says Rain City Blues.
I will say that I do not like to ship Jesse and James because I like the idea that a male and female person can be friends and queer and not be involved.
Yes, thank you.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
Every television writers take note. They don't have to date.
Yep.
They are
Every
straight up just
procedural, every
besties.
drama, every TV show. I swear to God.
I'm literally imagining TV show writers like writing like a like you know, like heterosexual male female friends, and then like sweating when they're just like, and then they fucked, and then they fucked, and then they fucked. It's just like, no, don't do it.
Well,
Don't
to
do
be
it
fair,
again.
that's me writing like SW scripts, but
Well, you know, maybe this is a good point of reflection. You know, expand your, diversify your scripts.
no.
No. Valid point. Valid.
I would say
Valid
that's
counterpoint.
something else,
No.
but you don't make money off of it, Atra.
Yes, being a couple or being friends are both valid. I agree with that.
Absolutely. So chat, we have about 30 minutes or so or less to go in tonight's show. So if you have any questions for our panel, please feel free to get them in now so we can answer them. I have one more question here from the prepared questions, and it's a bit more about your identity. And the question is, do you feel there's an intersection between your Asian American and queer identity, or are they more separate and compartmentalized in your view? Essentially, I'm asking, are you gay and Asian, or are you a gay Asian American?
Yes. I'll just be the first one to say that with my perspective, it's not what I do that makes me gay and Asian. Whatever I do being gay and Asian makes that gay and Asian. Like, I do my taxes, gay and Asian. I go shopping, gay and Asian. Those identities I don't compartmentalize because they are both just facets of who I am. So while I can speak on them in separate perspectives and lenses, ultimately they are just parts of what I am, parts of who I am. And so as much as I can pretend that I can separate them, and as much as that like I do have experiences that are separate from each other, ultimately when it boils down to it, it always has to do with being gay and Asian because it has to do with me.
It's a great answer.
Here, here.
Mm-hmm. You could have kept going though. You take those deductions, gay and Asian. You file a TurboTax, gay and Asian.
You know, it's funny you say that.
You get it in before the deadline, gay and Asian. No, but I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah, I don't think it's two separate identities. It's both sides of. Actually, sorry, it's two sides of a die, not a coin, because we've got more than two sides, y'all.
Multifaceted.
Hell yeah.
I completely agree. I know that it's funny because I actually struggled with this question because I was like, oh, I don't. And then I kind of actually had to think about it a little bit because with my family and my coming out story, I kind of have to hide my queer side completely because they just don't accept it unless it's to their standards, if that makes sense. So when I go home, I have to be the perfect Asian daughter. I can't even be a Blasian daughter sometimes, and I don't even identify as a woman. And so it's tough. Like I've told my chat this several times, and this is a completely different story for another time, but like because of the whole thing with like my biological father and things like that, my mother didn't tell me that I was half black until I was 13. So it was a whole different thing. Yeah, it was rough. So they kind of still treat it as that even now in my 30s, where they still kind of dismiss that a lot of the time. And so it's tough. So even when I came out as bi to them well into my late 20s, they saw it as, okay, we kind of figured that you were somewhat queerish, but like we didn't really acknowledge it. And even now they still kind of don't. And even if I stand for things or I go to rallies or pride or anything like that, they kind of just go, why do you do that? And I'm like, what do you mean? And it's a constant fight every single time. So instead of me having to put up with it every single time. I kind of have to hide it when I go home every single time. So then I have to separate myself when I go home. So then I am the perfect Asian daughter when I go home. And even though I have a trans wife, so that was also the problem, was her transitioning was a whole thing. And going through all of that was rough. And I didn't realize that until you asked the question, that I do have to separate it sometimes, and it sucks. And I guess I just never realized that I do it to survive when I'm at home. But when I'm here with my fellow VTubers, friends, my selective family, and ever chosen family, I get to be my actual full self. I get to be my non-binary self and my pansexual self and everything. And then that's when I feel whole. But I didn't realize that I have to completely separate myself when I do go home. And I think that's why I moved across the country from them, to do that. Yeah, to do that. And it was such a tough decision. And so like that's why I was like, I didn't really understand it when you first asked this question, Tess. And then I was like, oh shit. That's something I didn't have to think about until just now. But it's also like, I'm proud of myself that I was able to get to a place where I do feel comfortable in my own skin on my own, but I do hate that I have to be this way in order to continue keeping the peace at home as like the oldest kid. But I also, I guess in my brain, it's like, it's only for however long I'm there for, like a week or a weekend or something like that.
Right.
Because I know that it's something, and I wouldn't doubt that there's probably plenty of people who also have to do the same. And I usually just like to, like, I think about it now that I'm like, it's not forever, you know, it's just for now. And eventually maybe I'll get the courage to be more myself around there. But I think because now with the way that my family is, because we're actually getting along, it feels like it's the best way to make, again, peace. So
Be the peace, yeah.
yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to like bring the mood down.
No, you did.
Yeah.
It's a seriously important point.
Right?
That we want to have, like,
Yeah.
because it's not always like we want Pride to be joyous. We want the Asian American story to have joy in it too, but we have to acknowledge that there are things like this that have to be discussed. Because while it may seem strange to say that, you know, some of us may have to compartmentalize parts of our identity, for many people it's an everyday facet of their lives, and it can be tough, very difficult. And it's just important for people to hear that, because someone hearing that might be going through the same thing, because not everyone can be out to their families, not everyone can be authentically themselves. Many people are born wanting to be someone else and can't do it for whatever reason, like, and
Absolutely.
it may take moving across the country or cutting
Yeah.
people off, or, you know, like doing
Yeah.
stuff like that. And I can never begin to imagine what that must feel like for anyone that has to come out or like sort of confront a homophobic like family or culture or anything, honestly. So I do hope that by hearing that, people feel more emboldened to know that there are ways to live your authentic self, you know. And as like they say, like as they commonly say, it gets better.
Yeah, because again, like I love like what I do. I love the people that are around me, and again, it's wonderful to have a supportive group of people, and I've always had it. You know, especially going to college in San Francisco, I definitely had it for sure. That was amazing. And I continued to have it all through like my early adult life into now. It is tough. It's a really, really tough journey to get through, but I also wouldn't really change it for anything, in the sense of I want, like, sorry, I'm getting a little emotional. But like,
You're fine.
it's something that I'm really proud about, because I've gone through so many layers of like trying to find where my identity is. and then finally hitting a point where I can be like really, really, really comfortable in my own skin. And even though I realize I don't need their permission to live the way that I want, so that's why I think I can be at peace knowing I don't I can put on a show for them when I go home, because when I'm done, I'm back to where I'm at, and it doesn't matter like what happens that week or that weekend that I'm there, because when I go home or when I talk to the people I talk to, when I go home to my partners or anything like that, they celebrate me for who I am, and that's all that matters. So
Damn right.
Thank you for sharing that with us, Squee.
That's powerful as hell. You earned your crown.
Thank you.
You did. You absolutely did.
And our hardships make us who we are.
Facts.
Strong.
I really
like
appreciate you
this-
bringing up that story. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's fine. There's just, this isn't my story, but it's someone else's. I know they came out to their parents, and their parents straight up said, "Oh, is there medicine for that?"
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, "Oh, that hurts so much," because like I would never, I couldn't imagine having someone you love so much say that to you, just because you don't like the opposite sex. Like I just
Say
Yeah,
that you're sick, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
that you
like,
have a disease.
Mm-hmm. I remember when I finally when my wife came out as trans and I told my grandmother about it, she was like, "What are you gonna do?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "Are you going to divorce her?" And I was like, "No. Why would I do that?" And she's like, "You don't like women?" And I was like, "No, I'm bi. I mean, I'm telling you now, unfortunately, but yes, I'm bi." And she's like, "Oh, this makes sense." And I was like, "Huh?"
Oh, okay.
And she's like, "Oh, you've never liked the color pink, you've never worn dress." Like, it was just like stereotypical things, and I was just like, I don't understand why this is like where this went to. And then she's like, "Okay, well, now if I buy more dresses, maybe then it'll change you." And I was like, and she's
That's
continued
wild,
to do
Grandma.
so. And yeah, I'm
Feels
like,
that
"Yep,
ship has
that's
sailed.
yeah, quite
Yeah.
a bit." That was, yeah, like my wife came out like what 3-4 years ago at this point, like, and she's still continuing, like every Christmas, every birthday she buys me like the brightest pinkest dress that you can think of, and I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna donate this to someone, but thank you, I guess.
I mean, if
Thank
it
you so
was
much.
cute, maybe, but I'm
Yeah.
guessing it's pretty ugly.
I mean, sometimes they're cute, but I think it's also because I'm like, I wear the darkest colors, like in all, like that's the other thing, is that I'm just like the big titty goth like person. Like I'm the one that wears combat boots when it's like 90 degrees out. Like that's like that's like,
Grandma, you can't get the goth out of me.
yeah, she tries so hard. So like it's funny to me that she's just like, "Oh, you wear such dark dismal colors, this is why you're gay." I'm like, I mean, I guess I should have known. I guess I should have known. Yeah, I guess.
It's the dark
Um,
color in combat boots pipeline to being gay.
Yeah.
That's literally my father's logic, so I totally feel you.
Yeah, right? Like, it's such an interesting way of thinking. But yeah, she's still trying, and I'm like, "Okay, grandma, you whatever floats your boat, whatever rubs your boot. I don't care."
It's like, Grandma, I'm a fully formed adult. It's like, but what about the dress? Just try it on.
Yeah, just try it on. It'll totally make you straight. Have fun.
Yeah, like they're hoping for like a magical girl transformation.
Yeah. Yep.
No, I really appreciate you sharing that story, because even like for someone like me who like is like, I'm not trying to say I pretend, but like who's very proud and out. I'm just like you though. Like it's like, oh, so you're out and proud to your family? Not exactly that. Everybody, I guess, but
Yeah.
like, I haven't even come out to my family because they're still trying to tell me to go to church, and I denounced my religion like 16 years ago.
Yup. Yup.
And yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, just like what your grandma was telling you with like your clothing and stuff. My dad is just like, you got demons in you still, right? Like, I'm just like, man, Dad, is that what it is? Damn, I thought it was you. Fuck.
It's not fun. I think my grandmother has given up on me going to church at this point, because that was like one thing I noticed, that my mom even kind of gave up on that, and I was like, what? So like at this point she's just like, okay, I'll just go, and I'm like, okay, cool, and now you can get off my back about it. That's that's fantastic.
Yeah, you
But
have
she will
fun.
definitely, yeah, she will definitely try anything else in her power. But it's also like the other tropes of like, here, I'm gonna buy you like dresses that are two sizes too small because I want you to lose weight. Like, but again, that's a whole different thing. I'm not gonna get into. But like, yeah.
It's still they're sending hints, right? Like, yeah.
Check out Series 2, Asians in Bondage.
Yup.
Hold on,
There's
I want to
that,
touch
like-
on one. Sorry.
Yeah, go.
No, I was just gonna say I want to touch on one point of family trauma because we're kind of close to it now with our topic.
Yeah.
But I come from a very religious military family, right?
Mhm.
And I'm like, you know, like my generation, I can say, because some of my cousins are too, but like my generation is one of the few that like did not come out religious and in the military. And I do not get invited to many family gatherings because I am the gay cousin at the table that is like, why are we following the white man's God and fighting in the white man's army? Like,
Yeah.
and they don't like that.
Yep. I feel that so hard.
But you wears combat boots, though.
Hell yeah.
Never stop.
I also wore
Never gonna
combat
stop.
boots for a while.
Looky here, they're stylish and they're comfortable. I don't care.
I
Boots are-
I got
boots are
boot
good.
foot, and I wanted to be able to stretch my feet out again, so I had to stop wearing boots because I literally
oh
like
no.
yeah, like they started to like fuse into an L, and I had to like
Oh,
no.
oh no.
no, like when I told you I wore boots, because like I'm right there with you, I was goth as fuck too, and
It's like a mega
like
bunion.
literally, well no, it's not even that. It's my ankles, like
Yeah,
literally
no.
like I
Oh
could,
no.
It's an ankle bunion.
well I couldn't bend my feet forward. They were like stuck in an L, like the boot
Oh.
L, and so I haven't worn boots in like fuck 10 plus years, and I've been doing like ballerina stretches ever since, so now I can point my toes down, but that has not always been the
Ooh.
case.
Strengthen those
Listen,
muscles.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
The tendons, they're the
Dem
chewy
muscles.
stretchies.
Yum, yum.
Stretches. The yum yums. I love it.
Too funny, too funny.
But yes, thank you for letting me go on my little sidebar.
Yes.
Chat,
Tangents are good.
I'll leave it up to you. Any final closing questions for our panelists? And while doing so, I'm just going to do my little spiel. So, throughout the course of this month, we've spoken about masculinity, the content creation journey, parenting, dating, relationships, and now the queer experience. We couldn't ever hope to bridge the entirety of the Asian American experience in just 4 episodes, but I really hope that if you're watching this or have watched this, that you have, if you are Asian American, that you relate to some of this or have thought a little bit more deeply about your identity. And if you're not, and just a friend and or an ally, like, that you understand this just a bit better, honestly. So thank you so much for tuning in to this series 1 of the AAPI VTuber Talks. There will be more, and it won't just be annual either, because we will have something in the fall as well. So stay tuned for that. Series 2.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But yeah, I've been your host, AtramentumX. Before we get to plugs, do our panelists have any closing thoughts about the topic?
I feel like we talked about a lot already.
We
I was
did,
gonna
we
say.
covered quite a bit.
Went through all the hoops.
If there are no final closing thoughts, we will go to plugs. I want you to tell us a little bit more about who you are and what you've got going on in the upcoming weeks, months, and years ahead. Starting with Squeak.
You can find me where all Squeak Queens are sold at Squeak Queen VT with 3 E's. I'm currently kind of getting back from a hiatus, so my streams are a little spaced out, but I will be coming back. Cozy Sundays will be coming back as well, doing some Lego building, maybe some needle punch and things like that. But yeah, we're gonna be getting back to our regularly scheduled streaming sooner rather than later and getting some collabs back. So I'm really excited about that.
Thank you very much, Squee, for coming back on the pod and to sharing your experience with us.
Yeah.
It was genuinely fantastic to talk to you and to hear more about yourself and your identity.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Manta.
Thank you again for having me. Once again, my name is Mantaray. I am Mantaray VT on all platforms. I am most active on Twitch and Twitter. I do have a YouTube, TikTok, and Blue Twitch, though those aren't as active. Though I do aspire to be more active on those platforms. I do have my own AAPI VTuber panel. The final episode is tomorrow at 12 p.m. Pacific time. If y'all can make it, I'd very much appreciate it. But thank you again, Atra, for having me, and also doing your part to help spread the knowledge and awareness of our cultures.
Thank you very much, Manta. Thank you for being your authentic self and for always being so welcoming and open with your story and your journey.
Yay, thank you.
Yeah. That was Palau's #1 VTuber, by the way.
Yeah, you heard it here first!
And
That in my bio.
Last but not least, Ephrus.
I'm just your silly little guy streaming Monday to Friday, 5 p.m., 5:30 p.m. Eastern onwards. Mostly Gunpla, shenanigans, and a lot of dumbassery. If you guys just want to come hang out. Thanks, Atra, for inviting us.
Can confirm a lot of dumbassery is happening over there.
Hey, shut your face. Speak for yourself.
But thank you so much, Effie, for bringing your wit, humor, and your experience to the panel as well. It was great to hear from you and these perspectives as well, because we don't get to talk about it.
Thanks for giving us all a chance to do it.
Absolutely. And I've been your host, AtramentumX, Fry streamer and YouTuber. Thank you so much, and you can find all my links at atramentum.inc. That's INK. This is the end of Series 1, but it's not the end of us. The Depths podcast will return on June 11th with an episode about Black femmes and sex work online. So we're very much looking forward to that, and we have many more episodes to come for the podcast. But for now, if you're watching this on YouTube, like and subscribe, and thank you so much for tuning into this episode. Good night and happy API month and happy Pride, everybody.
Yay! Woo!
Yeah!
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye!
Bye, everyone!